Good morning, Guardians. Briar Rabbit here. Today we have some very interesting news, and for a change, it's coming directly from Bungie. Now, in the past, over the last 6 months or so, I've talked a lot about speculation and rumor and how it might pertain to Destiny 2, but I think this news does speak directly to the development of Destiny 2, and it comes directly from Bungie, specifically their career website. Now, I'm going to talk about the facts of this news story first, and then we'll get into some speculation and some conjecture later on in the video. But I do find this very interesting as far as the development of Destiny 2 and beyond goes. So here's the news. Bungie on their website, their career website, has gone ahead and posted 4 new job offerings. The first one is Head of Narrative Development. The second one is Senior Narrative Producer. The next one is Narrative Director, and the final one is Live Narrative Director. So we're going to break these down one by one, and this is going to take a while, so if you want to get to the conjecture part, skip a little bit ahead in the video, and we'll do that. The first one is Head of Narrative Development. Bungie is looking for an experienced director of development with a passion for the craft of storytelling to manage our studio's growing narrative department, which is comprised of the following disciplines: writing, cinematics, narrative design, localization, and audio. This role is a management position focused on mentoring narrative department team members, promoting and fostering excellence in the art of storytelling for games, and driving departmental recruiting and hiring strategy. You will also develop training process and present growth opportunities for individual team members, as well as oversee performance reviews. In addition, you will be a key member of Bungie's leadership team, fostering consistent management practices and culture across the studio. With a focus on people, processes, and culture, this is a wonderful opportunity to build, develop, and motivate a talented team of storytellers while establishing new standards in narrative techniques. So what is it about this job offering that's so interesting? Well, first of all, it would appear that Bungie is creating a brand new department to focus on narrative of Destiny 2, Destiny moving forward, whatever form that takes. And that person will be in a leadership position, not just for the narrative department, narrative team, but will also help shape Bungie's decisions on a wider basis. It's also interesting that this position is currently unfilled. The next job offering is for a senior narrative producer. Destiny tells a tale that unfolds over many years, over many epic adventures undertaken by the player. To keep us focused on the longer arc, we need a senior narrative producer to oversee our storytelling efforts across the studio. The senior narrative producer will be responsible for defining the high-level narrative structure and scope for each Destiny release. They will support the creative leaders to actualize their story vision in the most expedient way possible, and they will drive processes to ensure the seamless, on-time delivery of all narrative disciplines: writing, cinematics, audio, localization, across Bungie's agile teams. This position requires understanding and passion for game development with a particular expertise in storytelling. We need a leader to innovate on our processes at the same rate as we innovate on the game. We need a professional who's highly organized, has outstanding communication skills, has management experience, and has proven experience in team leadership. So what Bungie's looking for here, it seems, is a production manager, somebody who is going to oversee the people who do the writing, the cinematics, the audio, the localization. But they really seem to be looking for somebody who can do it with speed and agility. They use the word expedience here. So Bungie's had a problem where they can't keep up with the demands of the audience as far as story and content go. So they look to be looking to change that moving forward, and this position is very much related to improving there. All right, this next one is hugely interesting. It's for a narrative director. Bungie is looking for a seasoned narrative director to help us tell the story of Destiny. As a narrative director, you will be responsible for directing the storytelling efforts for major Destiny releases. The ideal candidate will have a deep understanding of interactive storytelling with strong organizational and leadership skills. You will work closely with the game director and project leads to define the high-level story vision and help align the various narrative department teams responsible for implementing that vision across the narrative channels. With a focus on cross-departmental collaboration, this is a wonderful opportunity to work with and direct a talented team of storytellers to deliver compelling narratives in the Destiny universe. The responsibilities of this position would include identify opportunities to expand and deepen narrative channels. The required skills are experience orchestrating high-quality, large-scale narrative content across multiple story channels, and a background in writing and a passion for storytelling in non-gaming media a plus. All right, this one's exciting because it's the narrative director that is going to be working on the major releases. So this guy is going to be working on Destiny 2, Taken King, or Rise of Iron style expansions, big style expansions that are going to need a consistent narrative, and he's going to be working directly with the game director and project lead. So the guy who does the narrative is going to be working directly with the guy who's writing or creating the new raid and the new story missions, and all of that stuff is going to be cohesive, theoretically, right? One of Destiny's biggest complaints, or the complaints that we've had most about Destiny, is the lack of story and the lack of, what the hell did we do in Vault of Glass anyway? The narrative director, that it would be his job to make sure all of that stuff had one consistent narrative. Instead of 6 lines of narrative that go nowhere like we had in original Destiny, we'd have consistent narrative and stuff that goes from big release to big release to big release in a consistent way. Our next one is huge, and I think is telling about where Destiny is going as far as releases go in the future. This job offering is for a live narrative director. Bungie is looking for a seasoned narrative director to help us tell the ongoing Destiny story. As a narrative director, you will direct the storytelling efforts for regular, small-scale Destiny releases throughout the calendar year. Our ideal candidate has a deep understanding of interactive storytelling with strong organizational and leadership skills, as well as an ability to work with external partners. A proven record of prioritizing resources against creative goals in a fast-paced release environment is a must. You will work closely with the game director and project leads to define the high-level story vision and ensure alignment of the various narrative department teams responsible for implementing that vision across various narrative channels. With a focus on cross-departmental collaboration, this is a wonderful opportunity to work with and direct a talented team of storytellers while delivering compelling narratives in the Destiny universe. Now, the responsibilities for this position include develop and communicate a story vision that supports the release pillars through structure, character, and theme. Coordinate with narrative discipline leads to ensure the content meets pre-established franchise narrative goals and supports the release pillars. Rapidly iterate on small-scale projects on a condensed timeline and ensure successful completion, and ensure narrative scope and schedules align with the production plan and are achievable. All right, this one's big because this guy is going to be developing the narrative for the live team, it would seem. And what's really cool about this is that they want the narrative of the live team events to support the release pillars, which was the guy who is in charge of narrative in the last job, right? So you'll get these big chunks of story in the pillars, like the big releases, Destiny 2, the Taken King style expansions. But then the live team will also have a narrative that in between those pillars supports the story, and the story moves forward even when we're not getting huge chunks of DLC or expansions. That's really exciting. Bungie also details that the person who gets this job is going to need the ability to work with external partners. So Vicarious Visions or other developers that we've heard are helping to develop Bungie. Well, they may be in charge of live-style events moving forward, these smaller chunks of DLC. And those external companies are going to need a narrative director, right? They're going to need to know what's going in story-wise into these smaller events. And that is really exciting as well. So instead of getting these kind of one-off pieces like SRL or Festival of the Lost that don't actually move the story forward in any meaningful way of Destiny or Destiny 2. But now, theoretically, in the future, if this person is successful at their job, we'll get much bigger versions of these type of live team events that actually have story that means something in the broader world of Destiny. So I love this job position. It's my favorite one of the bunch because it shows us what Bungie is planning for Destiny 2 as far as content releases go. We're going to still get those pillars, those big releases, and those are going to come at whatever speed Bungie and Activision deem is a good idea, right? We don't know what that's going to be. It could be once every 6 months. It could be once every year. It could be once every 3 months. Who knows? I hope it's frequent, but we'll just have to wait and see. But in between, this live narrative director is going to be tasked with making sure that the story continues, that our story as Guardians continue, even when we're not working on these huge content releases like the Taken King or Destiny 2, whatever that form that takes. The live events are actually going to continue the narrative of the Destiny universe. And I find that very exciting and a big change to the way that Destiny and live events are currently created. So this is all good stuff, right? It shows a focus by Bungie to create a consistent narrative, whether that be in the story missions or raids or in live team events or in huge DLCs or smaller DLCs, whatever Bungie is creating for Destiny 2, all of these job postings are focused on making sure that content tells a consistent narrative and is coming out when it needs to, on time, with expedience. And I love that. It's very concerning, though, that we expect to see Destiny 2 come out in September 2017, and we're seeing these job postings, and it's almost January 2017, right? As I record this video, it is very late in December. It's post-Christmas in December of 2016. So that would theoretically give Bungie about 9 months to incorporate these new positions, do any hiring that needs to be done, and then actually create that narrative. Now, I'm sure that there's like a Destiny Bible, and there's people that work in Destiny right now, in Bungie right now, that have already created the story for Destiny 2. I'm sure of it. Like, it must have happened. But this is a major shakeup in Destiny's development team, in their narrative direction. These are new people that are going to be coming in with their new ideas and new ways of getting things done. And if we still expect Destiny 2 to come out in 2017, this seems like a stretch. It seems very concerning to me. Now, maybe they have the bulk of the work done. They want to bring in this new team, get them on board while Destiny 2 is being pushed out the door so they can see how everything happens at Bungie, get involved with that. But moving forward after Destiny 2 is when this new team will really come into effect, right? They'll be in charge of working with external partners like Vicarious Visions to create live events. They'll need to be indoctrinated into the lore of Destiny. They'll need to learn all of that. They'll get that Bible that we hear about that has like the current, from the beginning to the end of the Destiny storyline, if that thing even exists. But it's very concerning to me. It's very concerning to me that Bungie is having this big a shakeup right before the release of Destiny 2. We heard about what happened with Destiny, right? We heard those rumors, and I'm fairly certain those rumors are true, that there was a major shakeup in the story team, the narrative team, before the release of Destiny, and you could see that in what Destiny was as a product. You had all these different disparate pieces of storytelling that some of them were great and some of them were infuriating. The Stranger in particular, with her "there's no time to explain," that was really frustrating. And the fact that some of the best pieces of Destiny lore and story aren't even in the game, they're on a website that Bungie maintains in the form of the Grimoire, is hugely frustrating. So the fact that they are trying to put a narrative director in place, somebody who will cohesively work on all the narrative of Destiny, whether it be in the form of a Grimoire, in the form of a live team event, in the form of a raid, but also work closely with the game director and the studio leads. That's really good, and that he's going to be in a position of power at Destiny, so his will be done. Is very exciting to the development of Destiny 2 and beyond. But is that enough for Destiny 2 itself? I believe that Destiny 2 is a very important release for Bungie, for the Destiny community. I believe that, you know, there's a lot that's been said about the low reviews of Destiny. I think it's important that Destiny is called Destiny 2 because I think that it's very important that consumers realize this is the next version of Destiny, right? It's not just more Destiny. It is the next big, huge thing, right? It's a different product than Destiny was. It's newer, it's more innovative, it's fixed the problems that you hated about Destiny, and it's bigger and better and more awesome. Destiny 2 is a big deal for Bungie and for the Destiny community. They can't fuck it up. They absolutely cannot repeat the mistakes that they had in Destiny, and a lot of those mistakes were story-based. So it's worrisome to me that at this late date, when we expect Destiny 2 to come in September of 2017, that they're still putting this team together, or they're still trying to put this team together. That's concerning. However, aside from the timing of these job postings going up, I love everything I'm reading in these job postings because Bungie clearly wants to emphasize narrative in Destiny 2 and beyond. They want to release Destiny 2 and then have live team events that go between the big DLCs or big expansions that are going to support Destiny, so that throughout your playtime with Destiny, you're constantly going to be getting new narrative, new story, and new reasons to keep playing Destiny 2. That's exciting to me. Can they pull it off in a short time frame? I don't know, man. It's hard to tell. So that's it, man. That's the news today, and I thought it was really interesting. And I know this is a super long video, much longer video than you guys are used to getting from me, but there's a lot to digest here, and my suspicion is we'll be talking about it a lot in the future because this is huge news. This is a change to the way that Bungie is going to be developing Destiny, and a change to their corporate structure that I think is telling about what they see as the future of Destiny. And there's a few little tidbits in here that kind of tell us what we'll be seeing with Destiny 2 as well, as far as live team style events and pillars and big DLCs. And I think that's really interesting too. So thank you guys for sticking with me. Hit that like button if you liked the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.